Good morning from my old Kentucky home. It's very cloudy out, but guess what? We don't care. It's Monday, July the 21st, 2025, and it's the birthday of a good friend I've had for, well, she's a lot older than me. She turned 75 today, and her name has been on our local radio station. And I texted her this morning and told her not to get the big head because they were really throwing out the compliments to her. I hate I missed it, but it just probably made me feel bad. So, wishing Brenda a very happy 75th birthday. And it's good to see you guys this morning. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I tell you, if my social life doesn't slow down, I'm going to have to start drinking Red Bull or something. Saturday, after I put up that little video, I went to I called it a concert. It's one of my older, I don't mean like older in age, except she is 74. Her son and grandson sometimes play guitar and sing at this little coffee shop. And they had it earlier in the day so I could make it. But it did interfere with my nap time, but I really enjoyed it. My best friend was there. Then I got to see some people that I never see. I saw the mother of one of my favorite ever in the whole world students and got to talk to her and get a hug. And then another mother, let's see, how can I say this? The mother of a friend of my son's. And she's retired and moved a little bit to another county, but not too far away, but I never see her. So we had a good time catching up, and just other people that were there. A lot of people were there. Hey, my girl said, Mom, I've left you a shirt hanging on the laundry room door. She's given me this one, so I now can officially hang it in my closet. So I'm really excited about that, except the collar looks a little kapooey this morning, but that's all right. I like it because you know I love the Kentucky Wildcats. Well, then after I went to the concert on Saturday, then on Sunday after church, we had a surprise. Not we, but my girl and me went to a surprise birthday party for my friend Brenda that I was just speaking of, that's just turning 75 today. And everybody in the world showed up. If they had a party for me, there'd probably be 3 people, maybe. So she is very much loved, and we had a good time. Yesterday at church, there was only 9 people there. And we still had a good time, and we did sing, Thank You, Lord, for Your Blessings on Me Again. And everybody enjoyed it. So now the next one we're going to work on is that Lord, Make Me a Sanctuary, I think is the name of it. And I really appreciate people commenting, and even someone sent me a link, so I got to hear it. And then a friend of mine actually sent a picture of the music to me. So I've got to work on that so that we can sing that at church real soon. I have got a serious matter or two to tell you about. You know, Grandma Lois is always saying that God goes before us and straightens our crooked paths. And when I think about that, that is so true for me. And you can look for yourself and see what you think about this too. I have, of course, you know, I'm thinking a lot about my girl getting ready to go to college. And we have so many changes in our life, so many phases that we go throughout our lifetime. I was looking this morning, and it's 28 days. It will be August the 18th when she leaves for college. And that's on a Monday. So on that Monday, on August the 18th, I probably will not put up a video. I don't know. I could possibly, but may not, because we will be getting ready to leave to take her to college. And I think how the Lord knows. He loves us, and He wants the best for us. And I think, how am I going to stand it when my girl goes to college? It's going to be me and my exciting husband and my little dog that's laying here at my feet and these 2 horses, unless the Lord sends us someone for the horses. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm praying about it. But I wanted to back up just a second because this thought came to my mind when I was thinking about her leaving. You know, if you've watched my other videos, that in 2007, I was just going on my merry way, minding my own beeswax, hadn't been retired even a year, and the Lord led me to go to this home, and I met my girl. And the miracle of how that worked out, that she came to live with us, we ended up adopting her. And during that time, of course, my son was about late 20s. And then in 2012, after she had been here for 9, 10, 11, about 3 years, that he passed away. Now, can you imagine losing a child? And we were older. You know, even at that time, I was in my 50s, early 60s maybe. What difference does it make? But there she was. Not to replace him, but just such a wonderful addition to our family that kept us both going. And my husband with cancer kept him going, was just such a light. I mean, I've got so many pictures of her just when she was small, when she still hugs and kisses him, but with her little arm around his neck and them just laughing. And one picture I've got, and she's got a big chunk of chewing gum in the back of her mouth, and they're just laughing at something. You know, she kept us going. She gave us something to live for. And I could have never planned that out. No way could I've ever planned out for this little child to come live with us at our age. But God works in mysterious ways. He has the best plans if we will just let Him do His plans. But so many times we want to help Him. And many times that's disastrous. All right, so I'm thinking, how has God planned for me to survive when my daughter goes to school? But you know what He did? And this sounds so silly, but it's so true. He gave me, I don't even know the word to use. I can't even think. He gave me this YouTube channel to connect with all these new people that otherwise I would have never, ever in my life met. Now, isn't that something? And I was just thinking this morning, here I am preparing for her to leave. And I have been, just even this summer, no, this summer I've done the YouTube, but even before I did the YouTube, really my life was like helping her get through each day, helping my husband get through each day, worrying. Yes, I do worry about the future, about the horses, about many, many things in my life. And I don't really know the exact moment that I started watching YouTube, but it's not been very long. I don't even know if it was December, maybe January, that I started watching channels. And then just, some that would catch my attention would be, you should start a YouTube channel. You should start a YouTube channel. Well, since I've retired, and since I've even worked in the school system since then, but like I'd say since about 2021 that I have been home most of the time. And I am such a people person. I love being with people. I love laughing and having fun and praying for people. And, I just love being around people. And I have missed that tremendously from being around people. And I feel like, as Mike and Old Me Living Better says, if you ain't dead, you ain't done. And I don't feel like I'm done. And when I saw Grandma Lois on YouTube, and she just kind of sparked this fire in me, and I thought, could I do this? And whenever I sent her a message and said, I feel like I have something to say. Now, I know a lot of people wouldn't want to watch me, but we all have our favorite things that we like to do. And like younger people, they're not going to want to watch me. But for people my age, I hate to say after 50, because 50 is still really young, but it goes by so fast. And I think, I've got something to say. I have got so much to be thankful for, and I want to share that with you. And if you have kind of forgotten in your mind that you've got a lot to be thankful for, I'm here to remind you of that. But I think about how much fun I have been having since February the 27th when I started this channel. And I honestly feel like, let's see, how do I feel? I feel like I need to be doing this. Right now, this is my purpose in life, is to do this channel, to share with you. And the ones that don't want to watch it, it may not appeal to a lot of people, and that's fine. But I think there are zillions of people like me out there looking just for someone to talk to them and to give them a little encouragement. And I like to be that person. Now, I'm not a counselor or a doctor, although I do tease with my friends that I am that, but just don't have the certificate for it. But I'm telling you, and I'm praying, and I know the Lord will answer my prayers to help me to adapt to my daughter being gone. I want her to have a wonderful time and to learn and enjoy life. And she doesn't need an old person like me dragging her down. So we'll just spin along and see what happens. But I really feel good about it. I really feel good about it. And I love getting your comments. I even love getting your little hearts. So that's that little rant. And now I'm in here for 11 minutes. Now, something else that I want to talk about a little bit. And yes, I do have a funny story. And if you get tired of watching this, you can always stop it and come back later in case you need to get another little dose of me. All right. I had seen this verse, and let me read to you. Galatians 6:9. It says, Let us not become weary in doing good. For at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Now, you've heard that saying, reap a harvest. And of course, we see that in the Bible. We've heard that's, we've got that from the Bible, reaping the harvest. But what does that actually mean in my life or in your life? And yes, I do have a note or two, and I've got a note or two hanging here of things that I want to tell you because I don't want to forget them. So I am going to be glancing down at this paper. One thing I was thinking about when we think about reaping a harvest, we think about planting a garden. Now, when you say planting a garden, that sounds pretty simple, but believe me, if you've done that before, you know it's not a simple task. And it's one that requires a lot of attention and a lot of work and a lot of motivation and a lot of determination and a lot of patience, because you've got to get the land ready and you've got to get your seed, whatever you're going to plant. And I'm not even going to try to list all the steps because I know I'll leave something else. But you think about gardening. I was just looking at that little video that Cynthia put up of her friend's garden. There was not a weed in that garden. Now, to you or somebody just glancing at that garden, you think, nice garden. When I look at that garden, I think that lady has really put in the time and the work in that garden to make it look like that. And it's beautiful. Watching all of her little plants growing, there was not a weed in that garden. It took a lot of work and determination to get it to look like it did. But she's going to reap the harvest soon from all that hard work. So to be able to reap a harvest, you've got to be somebody special to reap a harvest, because it's not something that comes easy. All right, let's think of another thing that might apply to that. And I was thinking about going to college, going to school. Look at our children when they start school, first grade. Do you think that they would want to keep on and keep on without encouragement and all this that the teachers, the principal, the people that work at the schools, the parents, their friends, their family, encouraging? Along the way, they are working on their harvest, cultivating, and then when they get even to the 12th grade, which everybody doesn't go to college, which everybody's not meant to go to college. There's so many other jobs available that we need daily in our daily lives. But to get to that point of 12th grade, that is such a celebration. I never realized that it was actually an option until I have seen that there's some people that don't finish high school and still become very successful. So, it's not actually completing the high school. It's the motivation, it's the determination that we have within us to do that. What about a job? Wonder if I was going to go up here to work at Dairy Queen and they let me wait on people, or they let me cook the hamburgers or fix the ice cream. But even in jobs, any job, you maybe want to work till the next level. Maybe you want to be the manager. Maybe you want to even go higher than that. But to be able to do that, what are you going to have to do? A lot of work is involved in that, isn't it? What about if I was even going to drive from Kentucky to California? Now, if I get to about Texas, would I go through Texas and give up? I'm not going to reap that harvest. But if I keep on with determination and drive and patience, it would take patience to drive to California, I can reap that harvest. It can just running a marathon. I have a friend in Florida, Angela, that runs marathons. Now, if she goes a little way and stops, or if she just runs the marathon and the other days of the week doesn't ever run, is she going to be successful? Probably not. We've got to continuously, every day. We're all running a race right now to live the best lives that we can, so that at the end of this life, that we're going to heaven. And I am looking forward to that, let me tell you. And I hope you are too. Hey, is that enough sermons for today? Still got a lot of prayer requests, and I've got all kinds of little books. But I found this little book this morning in here, and I'm starting to write down a list of people that have requested prayer. And I'm not going to be naming them. I can't remember everybody's names, but I'm going to be asking you to remember our list. And so many of you have requests, and I've even heard other people mentioning we're going to, for prayer for people. So I think that's a great thing. That's just another way our little community is coming together. Now, before I read the funny story, let me see if I've told you everything I need to. And this is going to be kind of long, so if you get tired, I understand. But I have found 2 channels that I have been enjoying. Now, if I have my druthers, I am not really a cooking show person. I like to watch some, but just on a daily basis, I'm not going to watch cooking shows. Because you know why? I don't like to cook. But I have found this one, the name of it, and I'm going to put it in the comments. Her name is Tammy at Collard Valley Cooks. And I'll write that below so that you can look it up. She is the prettiest little redhead. And she lives in Savannah, Georgia. And when I first watched her, I thought, okay, she's got to be from the South because she's got my kind of accent. Except, I don't know what kind of accent I have. But her name is Tammy, and it's Collard Valley Cooks. And very pleasant to look at. Got some really good recipes on there. She's really known for her egg sandwiches, and I thought, well, I can make an egg sandwich. But I think hers must really be special, so you need to get on there and look. And then her husband. Now, somehow he came up in my feed first. And you know how I love a dry sense of humor. And you know how I like a sense of humor, which some people in my house do not have. His name is Chris. And now some of his videos are about fishing. And in my book, he's no professional. Now, my husband was a good fisherman. But I get tickled because he catches fish about this big. But he just throws them back in. But he loves to fish. But it's what makes him special is he's a retired educator. And anybody that works for the school system has got to have a little bit of warped sense of humor. But I can laugh out loud at him because I can just relate to so many things that he says. And he makes a lot of videos in his truck just driving down the road. And it seems like every time he makes one in his truck, he's going to the grocery or going to get something for Tammy, and it is just so funny. And then sometimes they're together, and they just banter back and forth. You've got to look at his site. The name of it's Chris. His name's Chris, and it's Nichols Retirement Empire. And I'll put those both down in the description. And you check those out. I think you will enjoy them. If you like something kind of upbeat, I have really been enjoying them. And I've been sending them many comments, and they probably think I'm a nut. And all they've sent me back is a heart. But someday they may say, hey, she was the one that sent us all those messages. But you'll need to check them out. Now, here's the funny story. And this video, honey, it's going to be 30 minutes. And there ain't nobody going to watch. But I think you will. Because you're afraid you'll miss something. Here's the funny story. There are only 2 workers in a small factory, and they're chatting. The woman says, I bet you any money I can make the boss send me home and give me the day off. The man laughs. Never. You know he's a mean old toad. How on earth would you do that? She grins. Watch this. Then she hangs herself upside down from the ceiling. The boss walks in and asks, what on earth are you doing? She replies, I'm a light bulb. The boss says, you've been working so hard you've gone crazy. Go home, get some rest, and take the day off. The man grabs his coat and bag to follow. And the boss says, where do you think you're going? The man replies, I'm going home too. You can't expect me to work in the dark. Now that's funny. Hey, I hope you have a great day. I'm not going to tell you what the weather is here in Kentucky because we have 4 seasons: summer, fall, winter, spring. And if you want to look up the definition of them, we fit it. So I'm just going to stay in the air conditioning and stay cool. And I may take a nap later. But you have a great day and stay nice and kind and smile. And I hope you have peace. And I hope that if you're feeling bad today, that you're going to be feeling better. And that you will think about some of these things I've talked about today. And then I hope to see you on Wednesday. So I'm going to see you later. Bye-bye.